GM, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Fantasy Top Down presented by Metaverse HQ. I am your host, Silva Surger, alongside my lovely host, Ezrin. Ezrin, GM Big Dog, how we feeling this morning?
Yeah, I'm good. I nearly choked there. You might have heard it right before we went live. I was like literally coughing my lungs up. But yeah, I've seemed to have recovered, had a quick drink, so we are on.
Amazing, man, amazing. Getting a little look behind the curtain, a little Wizard of Oz there for you, seeing how the man in the big face looks. So, new a lot of new stuff in fantasy top, man. I know we're all looking at the screen here. It's that we're looking forward to week 26 of competition, so 26 consecutive weeks here in fantasy top. Super exciting stuff, hitting milestones every week, new all-time highs in decks submitted for these competitions. New all-time highs in terms of rewards dispersed, right? As ETH goes up, they're giving out more and more money every week. So a lot of stuff happening in the fantasy top streets, even though Bitcoin just does not want to stop its upward momentum, man. A lot of stuff for us to talk about this week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even that screen that you've got up right now, there's lots of changes on there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is, and we will get to that in due time. But
Okay, okay.
well, we got to walk before we run here, Ezrin. So before we look at next week, why don't we take a quick look back at this past week that just rounded out this morning? You wanna take us through your performance, Ezrin, or you want me to lead off this week?
I'm happy for you to lead off this week.
Oh boy, you're just saying that because you want me to embarrass myself first, and boy, I will.
No, to be honest, I think even though we just chatted, I think we're both a bit meh this week.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you there, my friend. It was not a great week overall for myself. I'll actually tab over here to OX the Molt's fantasy sheets site. Again, shout out OX the Molt. Incredible fantasy top dev. Builds all this tooling out on his own. And here we have his player reward leaders. So you can type in any username here at the top, including your own. Excuse me, and it'll give you exactly kind of an aggregated view of all of your rewards, right? How much ETH, cards, fragments, and even your best finishes each week. So, kind of taking an aggregate view here. I pulled in 0.09 ETH, which is right around my weekly average. So, that was nice. 13 cards, 384 fragments, which is just a little bit short of four more cards. Yeah, you can see here altogether nearly 17 and 120K fan.
Very nice.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, not a bad week overall. That's pretty close to my averages, truth be told. But it's right here when you look at it all, breaking it down. That's funny how it all worked out. This is by far, Ezrin, my worst finish in Elite in a long time.
God,
83rd.
who let you down? Who let you down?
Yeah, 83rd. I'm used to finishing top 30, honestly.
Ah,
Pentoshi, insane
look at that.
finish, 2,050 points. That's amazing. Marusha even, punching above their weight a little bit, 1430. But then DCF below 1,000, Charlotte Fang, Adam Cochran, all below 1,000.
Eesh.
Yeah, the rough week in Elite, especially when, I pull up a couple others. I had some rares outperforming those
Oh,
elites. So, you know,
that's
mis-
so annoying. I hate
Mist-
that.
mistakes were made in a wallet I control, sadly.
It's even worse than Elite because you could have moved them in, you know? It's like
Yeah.
it wasn't star problems, it was just choice.
Yep.
And to be honest, you probably would never have. Charlotte's up and down. Cochrane's been strong, especially with the election stuff. But that's annoying, man.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it before this recent finish in 95th, Cochran was 14, 50,
Yeah,
99, 69, 30, 40, 30, 30. Like,
yeah,
I just, and, he's mostly a political kind of account. So I figured the week post election, he would still be on fire. But, we don't
yeah,
always make the best choices, and that's okay.
yeah. It's annoying that. Um, I had a bit of the opposite in Elite this week.
Really, really. How did you fare in Elite?
I ended up getting a finish in 65th, which
Woo!
was
Let's
pretty good for
go.
me. that was one epic and four rares. But the difference being, I moved DCF out of my main line this week.
Oh, so you had the alpha, is what I'm hearing, and you chose not to send it to me. Okay, fair enough, Ezra. I see how it is, my friend.
I was just sitting on a Sunday, just doing my decks, and thought, nah, he's not getting in. Yeah.
I I mean, and look, that's the difference, right? That's the difference. You pipped me with your top lineup there by about 20 or so spots. Got more ETH, more cards, more fragments. I mean, and it's just moving one card out, a legendary for a rare even. Um
I know it feels crazy, doesn't it? It's like
it Yep.
rares are so flexible.
They are. I mean, we've touched on it before, but I continue to believe rares are the best buys in the game. Um, just flexibility. You can play them in all but the bronze and reverse leagues. And as you see, I mean, proof is in the pudding, Ezra, right? You're placing top 65 with four rares in a lineup. Like that's insanity.
I mean, yeah, go down the leagues, it all fell apart. But yeah, if we're sticking with the fact that we're looking at your elites and we're talking elites, then yeah, I somehow managed to do better than my usual.
That's awesome, man. So I got to ask, is that your top finish in elite yet, or have you finished a little higher there before?
I think it might be, I need to look back, but I I don't remember finishing that high in elite. I can actually check this. But yeah, keep going through your stuff and I'll tell you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I mean that was my biggest blunder there was not really making the most optimal deck for elite. And it happens. You just got to take it as it goes. Moving on to gold, had a couple decent finishes, got a couple cards, some gold, and even a little bit of ETH from my best lineup, which again had multiple cards here that would have performed better in my elites. But got too cute with it, but that's all right.
It's not bad though, because sometimes you want to try and push for like a top finish in a lower league. If the stars fit, it could be really beneficial to pull off like a top 30. And that, to me, that looks great. Like,
Right, and that is my biggest problem week to week, man, is that all of these fit in the star, under the star cap just nicely. I hit 24 out of 24, I believe it was, or 25 out of 25. um the opportunity I saw here was Jing Tao. He was at a 6 star because he had actually deactivated
yeah,
his account the week prior. So I figured that I was going to hit a lick by getting a 6 star when really his value, I mean, he finished 11th, right? That's 7, 8 star kind of value, along with some of these other ones who are pretty decent. But, didn't
yeah.
quite work out, but it's why we try.
I think Bread was at DevCon, so he'd kind of said he was potentially going to be MIA. I think me as well.
Yep. I mean, that bread, he was
Said, give me
bef-
one more week.
before that 120th that he just got, it was 60, 46, 76,
Yeah.
34. If I had something like that, I really think I might have had a chance. But, it's all right. It's how it goes.
Yeah, if you've got the cards, you've got to play them somewhere.
Yeah. And so I think I'm going to keep trying that, right? I usually try and put at least one solid gold, one solid silver deck, despite how it may work out for me, realistically.
I
Um,
know, it
Shoot
can
for
be
the
hard,
stars.
man. Yeah. But you're still pulling in like some decent fan in there, fan token.
For sure. And really, I mean, where I hit this has never happened. This is a first for me.
Holy!
I hit more rewards from my bronze decks than I did any of my other ones, including elite. Like three near top 200 finishes, basically a top 50 here. Like, this shocked me, to be quite honest with you.
That's crazy, man. I've not done good in the bronze for forever. Probably since like main. I can actually see right now. Main 7 was the last time I
Mm.
did decent in bronze.
Yeah, I mean I can go back and look through mine as well. I've never hit anything like this. Nor I mean, normally I'm in the multiple thousands, right? As you see down here, 5,000, 5,000, 5,000, 4K. So this is
You're gonna
not
feel well at home when I show you mine. Put it that
Trust
way.
me, this is not the norm. I'm gonna thank my goat right here for the week. Clearly, it was Zeneca being a 1 star,
Zeneca.
and
That
they
was wild.
Yep, I mean, really, you can boil it down to that. That was Zeneca was the common denominator between these both lines doing so well. So if I don't have
Yeah.
a 1 star like that this week, I can say goodbye to these kinds of scores.
Yeah, you needed Zeneca and Yano to basically cook in bronze.
And if you look at some of the top ones, oh look at that,
Eh,
Zeneca and Yano. Oh look, Yano. Oh look, yeah. I mean, you needed one or both to really make it.
yeah,
But
they
what
were
if?
so low storage and they did really well.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we'll touch on later, but just another huge factor of if you can find the one single card that is massively undervalued at 1 or 2 stars each week, that can propel really totally average cards, 4 stars, 5 stars. I mean, intern goes between a 7 star and a 2 star. Same for Taiki. Like, you don't need a lot else to work with if you can nail on that 1 or 2 star card that can really propel you upward.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of down to like how you spend your rewards as well, because something that, in fact, I'll probably talk about it a bit later. It was a point I wanted to make about the fan point and stuff like that, but we can
Ooh.
cover that after. I've just looked back, thanks to the Molt's player rewards. I have not performed that well in Elite since main 12. I don't know
Wow.
what the hell happened in main 12, but somehow I came 32nd.
Wow. That I mean, hey, that's awesome, man. I mean, that deserves a huge pat on the back. A congrats. Like that's showing the process is working. You're making progress, and I only expect you to keep climbing higher and higher each week.
Yeah, man. We keep on going. We keep on going.
So outside of your elites, there, how did the rest of your lineups fare? Gold, silver, and I know you said bronze wasn't quite your best return this week, but how
Oh
about the rest of
God.
them?
Yeah, so you can see where I did well in Elite here. We're on my screen, right? Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, Pintoshi, I kind of kept mine quite. I mean, I thought DB was going to be able to post a fair amount, especially with everything rallying. Mert and Rasmer, I was quite sure would be busy. I think there was
Mm-hmm.
quite a lot of Rasmer content, which was pretty funny this week. And then Gigi was my bit of a risk because I knew she was away and potentially not posting as much, but she still did pretty good, so that worked out. Um, and then I managed to get 4 more lines sitting in the. So I usually run either 5 or 6 lines in Elite, but sorry, yeah, 5 or 6. So this time I did 5, and they seemed to do pretty well.
Oh my god, hold on.
Uh,
Can you stay there real quick? That so cashing in elite is the top 800 spots essentially. You were top 400 in all of them, and your worst air quotes lineup has 2 commons and 3 rares. Can you just walk me through that? Because that's madness in my mind, and yet you crushed with
I love rares. Like, see good rares.
it.
I just like and I do move down in my in the kind of conviction. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is gonna cook. This will be all right. Getting a bit better. Still
Mm-hmm.
using some good cards, and then I sort of get lesser and lesser. So you can kind of see that, I think, in this. Like, we could have easily had a week where Newsy did nothing, or
Yeah.
Lawrence, or someone. But yeah, I don't know. It was weird in Elite this week. I feel like I feel like a lot of mid-level cards performed really well, and a lot of cards that usually perform really well, kind of at least one might have killed a deck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean
So
that's
I felt like it was a bit more kind of squashed in how Elite played out this week.
Totally, totally. And I saw that with a lot of my lineups where I had one that didn't quite cash and the rest were really just jammed in the middle right around yours, 300s, maybe close to 250-ish, but
Yeah,
not what I normally expect. But I kind of
like,
I kind of get why when I'm seeing those, 3 rares and 2 common lineups mopping the floor with me.
but this is nuts because that score 4718 getting you
Hmm.
400 is wild.
It is. Yeah. Oh.
Like, this isn't norm. This isn't what we usually see. Like, even if we go to um, where's the score tracking? Not that. Uh, nope.
League
Nope.
rewards in the money.
Yeah. if you look, like 400th place. Okay, so I mean, it was like 3 to 4,000.
Mm,
Okay, that's not actually changed too much. Like 3,000 was always 4.5 plus,
yeah.
and then this week, yeah, okay, so it's not actually changed that much. Okay, take that back. But yeah, Elite was very good for me. Managed to get 15 cards pretty much plus 0.5.
Let's
Um,
go.
and then Gold, I was less sure about this, but it actually did pretty good. I did like this was my main one that I put forward. Intern
Mm,
killed it, Davis killed it, and then the rest kind of did all right.
that's awesome.
And then this wasn't a seriously. I didn't. This one could have easily gone to the dirt, and it kind of did.
For sure. Yeah,
Um,
that makes you never know where it's gonna go. You
yeah,
just gotta
yeah.
throw it in with a hope and a prayer.
That was hope and prayers. And then moving down to my favorite league of all, silver. Shocking again. Like I, I did, I did pretty bad. I did like nothing great happened. To be perfectly honest. Like,
Yeah,
how's my
no.
top one Psycho and Farouk? Like what?
Yeah, no tippy
And
top,
Cirrus, Mercury, like these ones
yeah.
I would have more faith in. I mean, some of this I just put in because I was just wanting to use my cards up, but
Even that
um,
line right there. Gigi, Alon, Moon
yeah,
Overlord, Vectorize is normally pretty solid at like
yeah,
for 4 stars. It's surprising, man.
yeah, yeah. There was a lot of that, and I would say that with the introduction of fragments, for anyone that's not aware of what fragments are, this was the new way that they were going to like try and stop how much inflation was there in terms of cards. So instead of you just getting cards for you can actually see it here, rewards. Yeah, so they kind of moved some of the needles on when you get cards down to where you would get fragments, but they pushed fragments further down the ranks so that
Mm,
people. So because of that, I was a bit more kind of loose in committing decks.
okay.
Um, and that was kind of for two reasons mainly. I wanted to just see how it played out this week. Like, where did you land? Like, how much can you rack up?
Yeah.
But also my little cheat code on the fan points, which is just power drive through and just get thousand, and just trying to rack that up as well. But I'm really just delaying because I don't want to click on this bronze button.
Trying to sidetrack us, eh?
Here, look over there. Don't look here. Yeah. Oh
Oh
my
boy.
god.
Oh, you were not lying, mate.
So I got one card.
Oh, Ezrin, I'm sorry, brother.
It's okay. You've not seen how far it scrolls down yet.
Oh Lord, it's like Mariana's Trench. It just keeps going.
Yeah, it was a bad time in silver this week. Sorry, bronze. And they're good, man. They're good.
Yeah,
I thought some of these were good.
those are
These were
legitimately good
good.
cards.
I was like, what's
Wow.
going on, man? What's going on? Look at
Wow,
that.
Trader Main had an awesome week too. He finished 18th and
Yeah, CBB stats. I don't know. I mean, okay, maybe
oh,
Choi is not the best choice, but I thought I'd literally found a ripper here. It's like, okay, you throw in a bit of a shit Choi, but you go art skill, Nick, stats, CBB, and you're pulling that in for whatever it was, 16, 18 stars. Was it 18 stars
it was
last week?
18, yeah, 18.
Yeah. Like, I get some of them are a bit trash, like, because they are, and I knew that. But like, I used Marisha, Ignite. I mean, some of this, some of them are particularly shit and they expected to do shit, but other ones, like, I kind of thought a bit more would come of them. I
Yeah.
think probably that CBB one is the one I had the most faith in.
Yeah.
And
I
for
mean,
that
I
to
oh,
pull up 1400 is kind of sickening. But we know why, right? We know why. We know why because if you didn't have Yano and you didn't have
yep.
Zeneca,
You just got pushed straight down to the bottom.
yeah, you basically hit whatever's after the decks with Yano and Seneca.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
it's funny. That's why we stress so much. Find that one card. Find those one or two undervalued cards. They give you such a massive edge week to week. Like if you put in the
mhm.
time and the due diligence, like you can profit massively.
Yeah, you can get a read on it. I wouldn't say it's like foolproof by a long
Mm-hmm.
shot. I think it's difficult, um, but like, see the price at the minute in the marketplace. We're kind of sidetracking a bit here, but um, see if you go down to like 3 stars and you go like lowest price, you know, you could see a week where Gabriel Haynes
Oh
kills it.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean if you click
And
right in
and
on him,
for that price, like
that
even worst case scenario, you're building decks where you're just basically saying, okay, I'll rake in fan points and I'll rake in fragments by running like Fran's farm type
mm-hmm.
quantities of decks.
Yep.
You're gonna probably find that that might be good to just stack up on Haynes, stack up on maybe Smokey, Chumba. Like some of these prices are so cheap.
Yeah. Like that's all I love all that so much, man. I just wish we had all day to dissect this. Like Gabriel Haynes, he's had multiple finishes top 50, top
Mhm.
30, even as high as
Yeah,
rank 13 before. So that might be one I look to scoop a rare or even an epic of and
yeah,
just throw him in some elite lines because when he pops, he's gonna do the same thing Yano and Zeneca are. If you don't have him in that lineup, you're gonna be below it basically.
yeah. I mean, I would. I'm probably. I mean, I don't know. If, first of all, who's gonna not? People might not take this advice, but for the quantity of cards, I would probably swip 5 Hanes, 5 Vectorized. Apex quite often does well, and like the price of these, like if you do 0-4,
Wow.
like I think Haynes is probably the standout for me, to be honest.
Yeah, that is criminal. How I mean that's what nearly point oh 0.02 if you did the
Yeah,
sweep up to 5 there.
you could get 4 of them for 0-1-6.
That's wild.
I think down to I'll probably just get these just now. But these sort of guys are going to get you fragments. They're going to get you fan points, and they're going to get you more decks to compete
Yep.
that might pull off the world day that you want for that odd week where they kill it.
It
Um,
at such a cheap price point, point oh 0.02 for that rare. If it gets you in contention one single week, it's going to pay itself off. Like that and that's all
yeah,
you need and now you're free riding it forever. Like that's smart moves. That is working smart.
and do you know what? Do you know with this new dashboard as well from the moat? I mean, you can see like the person that you just have to study is. I feel like we're going totally off piste here, but there's no rewards to open yet, so we can we can keep going. But 229 decks from Fran's farm, right? This
Sheesh.
this week he pulled in 850,000 fan points.
That, which, mind you, is
Ah,
like half as much as I have in my entire history of this game playing since week one. Well, that's insane.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, you have to sometimes look and be like, okay, so what's my chase? Like, because I know people that play. Okay, I'm just going to play my best 4 elite decks. That's all I'm going to have. I'm going to have a stack of 30 cards. They're going to be elites, sorry, epics and legendaries, and they're going to be shit hot, and that's it. Other people do like so many different ways to play it, but I just feel like at the moment we're going to see less cards on the market. Having with reverse as well, and the ability to farm fragments further down the prize leaderboard. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of this makes a lot of sense to me. Like 850, 715, 960, nearly a million there.
That's
It's
it.
crazy.
Oh, I mean, that is actually wild, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you put it all in the context of the broader crypto space we're seeing right now. Bitcoin and just about every meme coin has pumped really, really hard the last week or two. A lot of in past cycles as Bitcoin dominance trails off, really that signals the beginning of alt season. Um, so if Fantasy Top, does everything exactly right and they time it well, they could really be in for releasing a token or something like that, which could just have all the tailwind in the world behind it, all the juice to do well, and then you have Franz Farm who that's what they're very clearly doing. You see there, they are just farming that token, and I have to imagine they're going to be pretty handsomely rewarded when all is said and done.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like they can. To me, it just looks like they've just farmed from the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and they've just not bothered selling. They've just kept rolling it over, rolling it over, rolling it over. I'm sure they started with a decent amount to begin with, but um, yeah, I think this if this dashboard is to me like shout out the Molt again, give him a follow. This dashboard is like so informative. To see it like this and be like, holy shit, seeing everyone's different strategies. This opened my eyes up a lot.
It 100% couldn't have said it better, man. Getting that insight, that context, the data, right? Data analysis, analytics, like all of that goes into what makes the top players, especially like yourself. And it's only going to help you, right? The more time you put in, the better rewards you're going to be able to pull out of this thing. So again, shout
Yeah,
out the Molt, shout out Ezrin, shout out everyone out there making and developing tools to try and fine tune this game and make all the players be able to find their edge. Really, really, I mean, this is kind of what Web3 is about to me, right? Releasing a product, having other people be able to build simultaneously on top of it alongside its development. It's cool that we're getting to watch it bear out in real time.
yeah. I want some rewards.
Same here. Can we at the devs, at Travis, at Baguette? Come on, packs, packs, packs.
Um, what else did we want to talk about? Oh yeah, so maybe we could move on to the new caps,
Ooh, let's do that, my friend.
and we could also, yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I'll let you run through
Ooh,
that if
all
that's cool.
right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So anyone paying attention this morning might have noticed that main 26 comes with some new caps, some new capped leagues. Uh Most notably, the gold league went from 25 stars up to 26, so we'll see a little bit more flexibility there. But the biggest thing, Ezra, and this will probably impact you and maybe me, because I know I ran a few this past week, you can no longer run all rare decks in gold. You are maxed. No, so normally they max you out at the top end of, in gold, you can only do two epics, right? Or silver, only two rares. This time they're also giving you a top end cap for rares. So, I mean, you showed you can use three rares and two commons and still place an elite. So I know that was a common strategy of using all rares in gold and still being able to do well.
Yeah,
But so interesting to see how now people are going to be forced to replace one of those rares with maybe a subpar epic or a really good common, but still might not score as well as those other two. So interesting changes there.
yeah. If anyone's in the market for an epic mix, please reach out.
Just checking the call-in lines now, Ezrin, and looks like we have no one on board for that makes the epic, but we will
Ah,
we will keep the auction open.
the phone's lines have not lit up. Right,
They're blowing up, folks. Buy it before it's gone. Buy, buy, buy.
okay. I'm only kidding. I actually quite like having that card, but yeah, as you say, it is interesting that we are going to be um, maxed on the rares. I think that's good for epics. I think that is good. It'll be interesting to see. That limits me big time. I mean, I only ran 2 gold decks this week,
Okay.
but I don't have many epics because I love the rares. So yeah, I might have to stick to my 2 lines in gold this week.
Yeah, I think when we've touched on it before, both on this show and privately, but Epic does seem like the rarity that gets kind of, for lack of a better term, thrown under the bus the most, right? Because it gives you only really have utility for it in gold and elite competitions, so you miss out on being able to play it in those bottom three, reverse, bronze, silver, and if you're going to play it in elite, that's where everyone is going to play any legendary. So, really a Sophie's choice of what you're going to do there. So I do think, limiting the rares is going to bring a little bit more utility to the gold or the epics here. So we might see a little bit of price pumping on some of those, or even on some of the top tier commons, right? Because now people, if they don't want to pay up for an epic, they might be forced to go for an Ansem common, a Greg common, or something to really
Yeah,
supplement
that's
those
true.
rares.
Yeah, I just saw that there. Of course, you could just put a comment in.
Yeah. And
That's
yeah,
fine.
similar thing here in silver. We see, they've gone down. We got max of 2 rares. Obviously, you can only supplement that with commons. But I believe this is a change from last week, right, Ezrin? This is more.
23 is the change.
Okay, but that's up from 22, correct? Or am I making that up?
Uh, Where's
Let's
Cap?
see.
Come on, Cap. Answer the question.
Nah. Here, I got it right here. Silver. Oh no, it was also 23. I was mistaken. So silver stays the same. It's bronze that got updated by giving us 1 extra star. So we go from 18 stars to 19 now.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, I knew we'd
Yep.
seen another. There we go. Yeah.
So yeah, that gives a little bit of added flexibility there. Bronze, that was always you had to be the most stringent there. Sorry, I almost said stringentist. You got to be the most
Yes.
stringent there with your cards. How do you think that's going to play out? What do you think you expect to see there, Evan?
I mean, you're asking the wrong guy who just got absolutely annihilated in bronze. So, uh, I'll take a change. Any change. It might turn my fate. No, I think it's good. It gives you 1 extra star, so maybe you don't have to rely on that Zeneca 1 star or that um, Yano 1 star. Potentially, you could look into the 2 stars a bit more. Um, I think it's good. I think it means more mids can fit in. When we kind of run through our picks, I think it'll be good to look at the kind of 5 stars and below heroes and see
Mm,
who's in there because it really depends on where everyone's fallen from, or where's everyone lay in the star rankings because you tend to spot some patterns. Sometimes the best are at the top and the worst are at the bottom, but then when it's the ones that kind of creep in here, there, and everywhere, that's the ones that you got to watch. Those are the ones that are going to make or break bronze.
absolutely. And Cap, resident sharp Cap from MVHQ, is in the chat here saying that this change also gives the possibility that bronze lineups, you could have an 8-8-1-1-1 lineup, which was impossible.
Holy,
Yeah. So, and normally I'd agree. He says it's probably not a great idea just because normally the 1 stars are
yeah.
terrible, unless you have a week that we just saw when you have Zenecas and Yanos available as 1 stars. Imagine pairing those up with Ansem and Greg as your 8 stars. I mean, I don't think there's anything beating that. I'm sorry.
The only one that I would say there's actually two that I would say potentially could do really well as ones are Jen and Fubar. More
Mm,
convinced about Jen, but she's just been, I don't know, need to check and see why, because there's very little been going on in the last few weeks with Jen. But we know she can perform if she's got good content. And Fubar has shocked us in the past as well. So, um, yeah, in terms of the 1 stars, there's not a ton of options, but then I don't know. I wouldn't have guessed Jano last week either.
yep. Yeah, so we'll look at that in a few minutes here as we get into that section of the show. But yeah, I think bronze has been the most steady league out of anything, except for really elite, just because that's no hold bars. That's you do whatever you want up there, right? That's the inmates
Yeah,
running the asylum. But outside of
yeah.
that, bronze has been the most consistent, hasn't changed really. Been 18 stars for the longest time. So I think even a 1 star bump is going to introduce a lot of variability. So I'm excited to have nothing better than 4,000, a rank 4,000 placement next week and see how terrible I do.
It's okay because you can convince yourself that it was worth it for the fragments in the fan. It's okay.
Well, and the
I'll teach you
friends
how to deal with that after this week.
and the friends we made along the way, right?
Yeah, but also big change to reverse.
Ooh, you are right, my friend. Big change in reverse. What is that?
You used to have a minimum of 20, so you used to have to build up 20 stars before you could have a valid line. This week you only need 18. So that's cool
Ooh.
because I always found that you were like a couple of stars off having to put someone that was definitely going to screw you. So I think this will be a bit more flexible, to be honest. Um, I'm quite excited about this one.
That is amazing. Yeah, I didn't perform very well in reverse. I don't think I had any that actually cashed from this past week. So, I mean, because just everything I had was not in the right star kind of placement, to you need someone who overperforms to fit them in there to do well that will score low and kind of some of those mechanics. So just lowering the threshold overall is again, just like bronze, it's going to lead to a little bit of a shakeup and some variability there. So,
Mhm.
excited again to see just how poorly I can do.
Absolutely.
But yeah, those are
Um,
those are some of our changes for next week here. The last thing, and I know you previewed it just a touch, fragments. Fragments,
yeah.
you see here we kind of got our regular pack or pack animate. Which one of these is the pack? And the other one represents fragments. Where if you go to your profile, you'll actually see your fragments here. You need 100 fragments to exchange for one card. So it functions very similar to the reward mechanism, right? One card, one pack reward, you open it up. Uh, just gives them more variability in how they disperse those and how they give out those rewards. Um,
Yeah. It's
but
almost like decimal places in the rewards, you know?
yep,
Instead of it having to be a solid one, you can now get 50 here, 75, 100, blah, blah, blah.
exactly. Yeah, it allows them to pay a little bit deeper down in each league, instead of being so top heavy, right?
Yeah. Which
And
would be interesting. I wonder how, because it also gives you. I'm trying to think if there's a benefit to this, but it gives you the ability to decide when you spend them as
yeah,
well.
yep.
So instead of you just getting a big pile of cards, you could store your fragments and decide when you want a card, which I'm trying to work out if that's a thing I want to do. I don't think it is, but because there's
Well,
nothing else to spend them on.
yeah.
But but at some point they could take this a little further. Um, for example, some ideas that I've seen floating around are maybe instead of 100 for one card, 500 for one guaranteed rare,
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing. So that's not official. That's never been mentioned anywhere by the team. But those are the sort of things that could be really interesting and could be implemented in the future, just as an idea.
Yeah. Yep. I love that shout. It gives them a lot of flexibility, right? They can, like you said, they could transition this to be trade in X amount for a higher rarity. Um, I would absolutely be doing that, right? I mean, that playing into the degen, scratch that, pack ripping itch. So I would definitely be
Mhm.
doing that. I'd be saving up, like you said, to burn either for a rare, maybe even try and save up for an epic because uh, we scroll all the way down. I've still got that useless fucker nowhere just wasting space. So I do think it gives them a lot of flexibility on how they distribute rewards and what what those rewards even are, right? Fragments of a pack that can be a guaranteed higher rarity. So
I
not
mean, you still might get that nowhere
ah,
rare, or
God.
or you might get someone better, um, but yeah, it could be good, and it's gonna be funny because this week I was thinking, do I want to chance it and just mint them all, or do I want to store them and see if anything changes down the line? I didn't know really what I wanted.
You know, I definitely think I'm gonna store. Right. I mean, looking
Yeah.
at my rewards today, it's only 3.8 packs, so I'd be able to open three more cards. That's
Okay.
not really a big enough deal, and I want to save them, like we said, for the speculation that we may be able to upgrade rarities or do something more interesting with them later. But mostly because it's something you touched on earlier, saving them, whether for that or for something else. But I think, and you and I have tried this before, I think I'm going to save them specifically for when the next batch of heroes get loaded in, right? And their inflation scores are a little bit higher. And that's when I'm going to try and burn as many of these as I can to try and pull right? Like imagine you had tried doing this when Truth Terminal debuted, right? And we saw some people pulling
Yes.
rares, commons, selling for half an ETH on day one. So I think I want to try and save for those sort of inflection points, adding new heroes getting loaded in, and trying to just hit on one of the big ones and sell early. I think that's going to be how I play it, at least for the first couple of weeks.
That's funny because I mean I've just seen in the chat as well. Save, save. Like people are contemplating just saving these guys.
Yeah,
So that'll help, as Seth's saying there, it'll help with deflation. Cap saying use them when we see more new heroes coming
yeah,
into the fray, which is something we've done in the past, where we've waited for the new heroes before we've minted packs because we
yes,
wanted to
sir.
get
And
the
I would,
new guys.
if I remember, it worked out pretty well for us, right, Ezra? I think we got several of those new heroes. That's right, because I got two Rams in back to back packs, and he's now
Oh,
number 4, a solid 8-star. Like the math and the probability is all there. You might still not pull anything that you're hoping for, but in our experience, that is the best time with inflation scores at their highest.
yeah, you said back to back packs. You opened a pack and it had a ram, and then you clicked it, and it was another ram. It was two in the same bloody pack. That
Oh,
was insane, man. That
what a
was
day.
absolutely crazy.
That's what I get. I get on that on one side of the coin, and the other side is more epic knowers. So it's not all peaches and cream over here, pal.
Yeah, take your pick, rams or knowers.
Hmm.
I mean, we've all been there. Like, if I look at my burn to draws, they've got some pretty horrendous streaks in them as well.
Yeah.
Um, but then, yeah, I've minted a few good things as well. So it does. It kind of weighs itself out. But but yeah, that's cool. Okay, so people are saving these. I think I might do the same. I think I might do the same then.
Amazing, man, amazing. And I say that, and then we don't get heroes for a week or two, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm just burning all of them. So we'll see. We'll see
Yeah,
how long I really last.
yeah. A few beers on a Friday night, and I'll be just like, give me a card. Come on.
You already know I'll be in your DMs. Hey, wanna jump on a call
Just
real quick?
yeah. Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
man. Oh, and
Yeah. No, I
Cap
say one
saying
thing on here and then I go and do the other thing.
Uh, Cap saying in chat that rewards are now listed in our tournament history, which means that they should be imminent shortly. Ooh,
Oh, for real?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna see what that looks like. Go to our tournament history. Yep, and I see it all pulling through right here. Amazing. Just not
Okay.
in elite quite yet, so they might still be auditing those results. But I'm seeing it for all my other ones.
I have a feeling that I remember. I think it was like. Oh no! In fact, ignore me. It was to do with the predict.fun oracle. I'm sure there was like a bit of a concern at some point about how quickly they paid it out, as if it was confirmed. But they said there was like a 2-hour audit window or something. But that
Ah,
seems to have finished now, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, well, while they're loading up, shall we go through the marketplace a bit? And
let's
then
do it. Let's do it, man.
if we see them pop up, we can switch back.
Yep, it is. We got all eyes on you, so please take the wheel. Who is Ezra looking at this week for some of his underrated plays, maybe some prices that aren't really matching up with performance? Let me know, Ezra.
I mean, I feel like I'm a fanboy here, but you want to see this, right?
Oh,
This guy,
who is that?
I don't know if you're familiar.
Mr.
This
Penguin.
this guy here at 0.02 is so underpriced. Not underpriced, to be honest, because his supply is insanely high, right? But see if you want a a high scoring card week in, week out. He is the best bang for your buck. He's common as hell because of how long we saw. Um,
Months. I mean, that's 2 to
yeah,
3 months right there.
yeah. I mean, the guy, and there's going to be movies with Leonardo DiCaprio and like based on this guy. Like, the amount of times he nearly got voted out and then he didn't, and then he came back and he absolutely killed it. It's like a, I can, it's like it's Hollywood, mate. So
It
anyway,
is. It is a real zero to hero story that chart is showing you, man. It's insane.
but anyway, if you look at who's in his, so if we just go to the marketplace and we look at rank, and we sort it by price. So let's say 0.05, right? Okay, yeah, I know we're gonna give him a bit of a pass because I don't know. I feel
Jesus,
like
that chart.
there's a bit, yeah, there's a bit of fluke in there. I mean, sure, if you're a big Yano fan, okay, but 0.047, 0.012, 0.05,
Wow.
0.05, like anyone here who's not like a fluke, I feel like I feel like 0.02, and you could actually get that bid pretty easy. I just got filled in another one at 0.01, so 1.8 or something. Um, but I think Pintoshi, I mean, this is as common as well. Like, see if you move up to rares and stuff, the pricing's even better. But yeah, Pintoshi for me, and to be honest, a lot less so. No, in fact, I'm not even gonna say it. Pintoshi for sure. Like DB's actually like you're saying a consistent Pintoshi versus the hell that we sometimes see from DB. Like DB's a bit of a meme, you know, like when he finally posts, everyone sings. But since Bentoshi's been back at 0.02 or bids at 0.018, like absolute killer. I just think he's a must-have for anyone who wants to spend low but get the highest value.
Yep. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think you put it beautifully there, Ezra. I mean, look at who he's next to. Next to Jing Tao, actually performing better on the 7 day, and Jing Tao's more than twice as much. Like, that's got value stamped all over that penguin's forehead.
Yeah, for sure. And then even if you move up, so even if we just filter down to Pintochi, are you telling me? Oh yeah, price. Like, I mean, so we're looking at 0.09 to get a rare. If 0.09 to 0.1, like that rare is great value. And then to be honest, I think the epic's a bit overpriced. But see if you were to
Okay.
buy, see if you were to buy, if you were just to basically play a bunch of those commons and a bunch of those rares, they would be great assets to any line.
Man. Yeah, I agree. He was my best performer in any of my decks, pretty much. I've got a legendary of his. Was lucky enough to scoop that a few weeks ago, and he's performed very admirably. Um, I think he's really a must include, right? He
Hmm.
gives a ton of TA, right, technical analysis on Bitcoin, ETH, majors, alts, everything in between. He is also a like a not an advocate, but he is on the team for Circle Merit and Beam, which is a really big, gaming focused blockchain, and it like he posts about that. He's also incorporated with the Sophon team, so he's got a lot of different niches he covers. Almost 1 million followers. I mean, some of his stuff can absolutely crush on the timeline. So he covers it all. And now that he is firmly back, it's a must include in my mind.
Yeah, he would do well from as a high star bronze all the way up to being a common and elite. Like,
Yep.
and for that price, he's easily the best value for all the cards that I've seen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm scavenging through my notes here to try and find something to put up against that absolutely goaded call, but I got nothing, man. That is you you want to be Pentoshi. You want that penguin in your corner when you're going into some of these bouts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, very liquid as well. And yeah, I think just because of the months of inflation, he's just got such a high supply that his price just is pretty stagnant. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
see there, like that's kind of nuts.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean 649 4, so forget the 6 to be honest, but 49 450 2000. If we look at one other, who would be a good comparison? Uh, I mean, it's probably not. You're gonna need to no, forget the comparison, but it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to compare him to someone else who was like trash for 2.5 months, and I can't think who that would be. Because most people who are trash for two and a
Yeah,
half months
I can't
bottled
think
out.
of anyone that's even been gone for a single month and come back to go on the kind of run he has, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, he's a bit unique, and because of that, his price is really really nice.
100%, man.
Um, moving down, he's also 7, not 8, which I like. That's helpful.
Yeah,
Like we
I mean
talked
that.
about that
Yep, that
eight
one
eight
star is a massive
minimum one.
difference.
Yeah, you could now do you could now do a 7 and then upgrade some of your ones to twos and
Yeah,
filter them through.
100%.
Um, yeah. So then, who else? So yeah, we know Gigi is away at the minute. She's over in Dubai, I think. I don't
Oh,
know. But
okay,
she's still posting good content.
okay.
She's still doing our weekly meme coin roundup, so I expect her to stay consistent. But down at a 6 is quite nice. You get some extra stars out of her, or extra space
Yeah,
out of including her.
I gotta say,
Uh,
sadly enough, I don't follow Gigi because I don't have her card. So I'll have to trust your words on that. I can't be supporting the opposition right now.
what about down here? I feel like there's quite a lot down in the 6s. Like that's pretty wild. It's like a pretty stacked 6. Like I think
Honestly, I've like
Wars.
looking just right where you're at. You've got a lot of really strong 6-star heroes. Waz,
Absolutely.
Reject, Free,
Davis.
Wizard, Stowe, LARP. Any of them could be a top 20 hero on their day. So,
Yeah.
gosh,
Did STO come off of private? I forget.
I think he did.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, because he was on private when the tournament kicked off on Monday, but eventually he came off of it because he was
Yeah,
he
he
was he
ruined
was
one of my reverses. I put two of them in. I think I had him in two reverse decks, thinking this is gonna cook
yeah.
because it was such a last minute thing, and then it just went badly. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, any of there. Do you know in the fives is going to be dangerous this week.
Oh yeah, why do you say that?
I just think it's absolutely stacked.
Hmm.
Like, look at this: KMV, Lawrence, Lucas, Lucanets, Hart, Tiger, CBB, Davis, was
Oh,
Alon.
jeez, yeah,
This
that
is
is.
this is going to be. I think we're going to see. And did we not say we're going to get? Yeah, we got extra bronze. Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. So you could actually, like, if you look at the fives, this is going to be madness. You
Yeah.
could
Oh,
actually do
Heart
like,
even down there.
yeah,
Heart,
yeah,
Luca.
you could actually do like Lucas, Hart, KMV.
Oh my days. Bread as a 3-star, I actually love.
Okay, and maybe not quite as many, but
Oh,
you see what I'm saying.
you can
Like
still
you
throw
could
a
do,
two stars, a 3 and a 1. Like that is the
yeah,
basis of a that is a great basis right there. Like honestly.
yeah, you could, yeah. I think we're going to see quite a lot of really competitive bronze and probably silver. Yeah, those 5 stars are going to be key for the upcoming week.
Yeah, I think, and that touching on that is just an important, touch point for something we mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago. They rebalanced how they distribute those star rankings, right? So now there
Yeah,
are less 8 and 1 stars, right? There's less on those tail ends and it gets bunched up more in the middle. So to me, this is exactly what they intended to do. And it's working well, in my opinion. And it makes those choices even harder to make at the, individual deck building level for us. So I think good round of applause for the fantasy top team. I think they kind of nailed that one.
yeah, good simulations. That's craziness. And we know that I think, said that they wanted one more week. That was last week.
Yep. And he even still He got in. He was in top 70 this week. That's not bad.
Yeah, I know. I thought it was going to perform worse and moved it into some redundant deck that obviously performed like trash because everything else around it. But like I mean, even in these fours, it's bananas, man. You could do me, Gwart, like Mika. I mean,
Your boy
Hugo's had a bit of
Nick.
drama. My boy Nick. Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be wild. Yeah, it's certainly consolidating in the middle. That is for sure.
Makes every choice tougher. It's gonna put those optimizers through their paces, trying to spit out, what exactly those best lineups are.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then down in the threes, what we got? Vo in the threes. I feel like Magic Eden is just shipping, shipping, shipping. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Oh, okay. The great bringing up Vo. Thank you. Just jogged my memory. Magic Eden is releasing their tokenomics for their Magic Eden token next week on
oh, for real?
the 18th, I believe. So I'm gonna shoot my shot right here, folks, and I'll delete the entire episode if I'm wrong. But shooting my shot saying that Vo will have a good week next week with Magic Eden's tokenomics going live, and she'll get a lot of activity there.
That is good to know. There you go. Vo is going to be crazy as a three. Um, I think that she was kind of the main one down here, which stood
Mm-hmm.
out to me.
I would also
DCF,
second bread one last time. I mean, he's pretty typical of five, even a 6 star sometimes. So being down at three, hopefully being back from DevCon or at least traveling again, he'll be able to post a little bit more and get his score back to his averages.
yes. And he is away at the minute, isn't he? Yeah.
I think he's
Is
been
it?
at on like a long. I think he said it's like almost a 6 month like traveling tour, basically, like going through Southeast Asia and all this stuff. So DevCon was like a planned stop along all of
Yeah.
that, but I think the rest of it is he'll still be back to his normal kind of just biking around and showing off some pictures and posting on blobs.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Bread as well. Especially at three. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't think we've had him that low in a long time.
I
I
don't.
always,
It's been a while.
I always, do you know, do you know much about Iceberg? I never really, or it's like Smokey the Bear. It's the Bearer chain. I keep seeing bits about Bearer.
Yeah, he is the lead guy for Bera. So similarly, earlier when we were talking about finding that 1, 2, 3 star that might pop, it I can guarantee. I don't know when, but whenever Barachain is close to launching and they really gear up everything, he will be one of those cards that just having him in your deck will be able to change your entire placement.
Yeah, I keep thinking that day is going to come, but then not really knowing
I mean, if
how,
I
how
had to
far off.
guess, no inside information whatsoever. I would guess it's either going to be late Q4 or sometime in Q1. Uh,
Okay, okay, gotcha. Um, yeah, if anyone else out there's got any good picks, let us know. Or if you want to see if there's anything that you want to talk through.
yeah, I will say I know Seth had actually shouted out Richard Tensor for Reverse League. Love that. I think he's a 5 star this week. Normally 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Let's see really who's at the bottom of the high stars.
Only maybe note that I'd add there, Seth. I think he had such a big uptick this week is because the Tensor team is launching a new product, Vector.fun, which I don't know what it is yet, but I've seen every influencer and their brother posting about it. Zeneca, Cirrus.
Hmm.
So
Is that
they're
is that the like the dark blue PFP?
Yep, yeah, that like smiley face looking thing.
I just feel like yeah, everyone's PFP just looks like really badly overlaps now.
Yeah, agreed. Um, so yeah, I think Richard Tensor. I'll definitely play one in reverse, but if they actually go on to launch Vector Fun this week, he could actually have another big one. So I'll probably hedge a little bit by throwing one in reverse and one in a half decent common line to see if it can pull it up.
Yeah. Cap is flagged the best card for reverse.
Oh, an 8-star Yano sounds like a steal.
This is definitely gonna go in reverse. I'm actually, so I don't forget. I'm just gonna pop him in.
Go ahead and build that lineup right here live, eh?
I'm gonna I'm gonna do. Where is he? There you go. Right. I'll just so I don't forget.
Yeah, man. And while you're doing that, I mean, I just want to make one last reminder about something I said a few. It was on one of our very first episodes, so it might not have even been public. But we are now in a bull market, folks. We are firmly in a bull market, and I think, and you've seen it bear out in some of the results on the leaderboards, there are bull market influencers, right? I mean, Ansem for
Yes.
sure. He was always popular, but Ansem is one. Ram is another one. He's always poking or always posting tokens and calls. Um, Mitch is another one. Kook, Mert. I think you're gonna see some of these heroes who they outperform their averages in a bull market because they're bullish. Everyone wants to be bullish, euphoric, and they're just posting nonstop. So keep an eye on who is performing better than their usual, and then once you think you've identified the trend, jump on it. I mean, you gotta there's always going to be some risk reward there, but I think that's who
Hmm.
you want moving forward for the next few months as we kind of we go full tilt bull.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um. Yeah, and it's gonna be interesting to see how the inflation works as well, coming with the cards. It'll be interesting to see as the price of crypto keeps pumping, how people how people view that within fantasy, because obviously the price of a card is going to be higher in dollar terms, and people might be like, okay, it's time to like get my crypto back, or they maybe want to start investing. It'll be interesting to see where everyone kind of draws that line.
Yeah, agreed. And that's if you're if you're still here standing after the great bull of 2021 with NFTs, you'll know a lot. If ETH ripped, the biggest collections would reprice for a few days, right? Apes would go down by a
Yes.
few ETH to they'd reprice in USD, and eventually they pumped back up to go to new all-time highs in terms of ETH and USD. But there was always that initial correction, so I think that's a great shout and just something to be aware of, right? There's always going to be volatility when we're playing these markets, and fantasy is no other, or I mean, is no different than the rest. So you just keep that in mind. If you see your portfolio value decreasing, you see some people dumping some cards you have, they might just want to get the upside attached to the ETH, right? Doesn't necessarily mean anything to do with fantasy as a whole. It's just the tried and true, you know, people want to see their number go up, and when ETH is pumping, that happens. So I get it.
Yeah. But I think if there's one DApp that I'm quite enjoying playing every week, it's going to be this one. Whereas the NFTs is kind of like, maybe not. You
100%,
know?
man. This has been the most fun I've had in a long time. Just the week in, week out grind, which not even a grind. I enjoy building decks and getting to throw the lineups around and see what works, what doesn't. So it's fun for
Yeah.
me, and I'm here. I'm here for the whole bowl. I want to see fantasy have the kind of adoption and kind of uptick in users and revenue and all that I really think it can have. So you can't get rid of me, folks.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's going to be, yeah. I think the only other thing that interested me a lot, which I think we kind of touched on earlier, was just the sheer variety of ways that everyone's playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it. You can farm ETH, you can farm cards, you can farm fan points. Uh, I guess you could farm stars if you want, but I don't know anyone who's doing that, frankly. Um,
How
I
do you? I don't, how, where do the stars even come in?
it isn't stars. No,
Oh, is there?
because voting heroes out is with your fantasy points. So
N-
right,
Is it?
or is it
Yes, it
stars?
is. It is.
Yeah.
No, no, no. It's fantasy points. It's fan
So
points.
yeah, I don't think stars even have a use right now. It's just a big number. So I've got almost 200,000. So am I rich yet?
That's a lot. It's a good amount of stars which do nothing. Yep.
Yep. Oh man. Well,
This is the
we're
first time we've been rugged on rewards, mate.
I know we are rugged. I hate to say it, but it's true. Fantasy Top is a rug, folks. You can tune out here. We're done. We're shutting it down forever. No, I'm imagining it's it's the first reward distribution with fragments, so maybe they're just running into some trouble there on their back end.
Yeah.
Which
It's
happens.
fine. I think we've just been spoilt with the time that we go on and the time that we get the rewards. We've
Agreed.
just
It,
been
it
spoilt,
it's
spoilt
worked
up
out
to this point.
well. It's worked out well in the past, but there was always going to be one where it might not have worked out so well, and it looks like we're here, folks. So glad we're getting out of the way early in our life cycle as a show.
Yeah, agreed. Was there any so what we could do? I mean, I guess we could either kick around see if there's any questions, and if not, we could always just open our rewards after.
Yeah, I'm absolutely down with that. So anyone in chat, any of our 500 live viewers, thank you all for stopping by, showing up. We appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying Fantasy Top Down, presented by Metaverse HQ. And any questions, any lingering questions, you know,
We could
where,
do
what,
portfolio review. We
yeah,
could look at
could
that. We've
we
done
could.
that a few times for people. We got our man Enormous James ripping up an elite this week.
Oh yeah, he
Um,
did.
he absolutely killed it in elite after we had a chat with him about um switching up some of his portfolio. And then this week, what did he do? He he came in. What was it? It was something
I
crazy.
think he was top. Oh, right there.
Oh,
Wow.
23. It's my old house number, that.
Hey.
Also my roulette number, 23. But yeah, absolutely killed it.
That's a
Look at that.
nasty line,
Pentoshi. Boom. Yeah, intern could have gone anywhere, but everyone else, I think, there is solid.
man.
Like that's a hell of a line.
Yep. The double down on the DB and Pentoshi. The will they or won't they post all stars?
Yeah, it's like all in, all out. Um, yeah, I love that. I mean, look at even these. I mean, obviously at the top, you've got hella legendaries. Um, but you don't have to go far before you get into epics only.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
epics, and then rares. I mean, okay, it's a top tier rare, but
yeah, yeah, one of the best three.
yeah, but it always interests me, like looking through how far down people have like put a chance in. Like, I think that's like a that's. I mean, Big Dick Bill would scare the shit out of me. So would Intuito.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's kind of nuts to see how the highest tier doesn't really mean end of the world for rankings.
yeah, yeah. It really doesn't. I mean, uh, Degen Ape
Look at
showing
that.
right there. He only had one legendary in his line. He won the whole thing. So epics can absolutely get the job done.
Yeah, that's crazy from Otto. Look at that.
Man, yep,
3 rares and 2 epics. That's insane.
yep.
That's really good. Love it, man. Well, there we go. If there's not any more questions, I suppose we can wait for rewards, and we can always post later what we got.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, maybe if it comes in at a good enough time, you and I can even hop back in the studio, record the rip session real quick, and post that as a separate little goodie for everyone. But I agree,
Yeah, that'd
Ezra.
be nice.
I think great show. A lot of great analysis, tons of new stuff going on in the background. Yeah, fragments, new star caps. new minimum and maximum caps for what kind of cards you can play. It's the game is always changing, and if you want to keep up with it, there's no better place to be than Fantasy Top Down, presented by Metaverse HQ. So, with
Nice.
with that, any final words for our audience here, my friend?
No, thank you everybody. And yeah, catch you all once we rip our rewards and next week.
Let's go. Thanks again for showing up, everyone. We appreciate it as always. And Fantasy Top Devs, we're ready whenever you are for those rewards. So until next time, take it easy, everyone, and peace out.